But now the story that I want to share with you, Olive, is a very sad one. And I hate that we're having this conversation on a Friday, because Fridays were supposed to be like, all cheerful and all fun and stuff like that. But nonetheless, it's a very important story and I must share it with you.
Okay.
And it has to do with a 9-year-old girl in Kagadi district who was found to have committed suicide. What happened was that her family had sent her to buy a matchbox. All right. So she returned from the shops with the matchbox, and she went back to the house. And at the house, at the homestead they lived in, they had an external kitchen. See, this is a rural household. So they had an external kitchen that was grass-thatched. So she goes in the kitchen and it's just playing around, matches.
Yeah.
And she accidentally sets the kitchen on fire.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so the kitchen burns to the ground. And of course, so her father comes around and it's like, what the hell happened? And then it was soon discovered that actually she had accidentally torched the place down. Now, obviously, and unfortunately, her father decided to punish this child by beating her severely. And she felt very bad. She was beaten so badly. And she essentially just escaped and wasn't seen for a while, only to be discovered dead several hours later, having committed suicide.
Jeez.
In Kagadi district. So it's a sad story, and I think it speaks to, when I think of people that live in these rural areas, I know these are people who are struggling. I mean, we here in the cities, we're also struggling, but in the rural areas, I think the struggle is on another level.
Yes.
And so for your daughter to burn down your kitchen, I think some of those people just can't process it properly. They just overreact and they just get so angry and they lose their minds.
I've been in a village where they have those grass-thatched kitchens. That's actually a very easy thing to put up. All you need is is it called mud? It's not mud, but when you dig soil and then put water and mix it up, and then some wood that you use to roof, and then cut some grass and thatch it. You're not gonna go and buy iron sheets or buy tiles to put in that kitchen. So in my opinion, honestly, the father overreacted.
He did, and this was just so sad. So the girl's lifeless body was found dangling from a mango tree in the same village on Wednesday morning by residents. So she just hanged herself.
This is sad.
Sad, isn't it?
It is sad because on one hand, there was the punishment, but also I think the most underlying issue is how come children today have normalized committing suicide? This girl was 9. 9 is too young to even consider death as an option.
I think when you combine the daily strife of life with now mental illness on top of that, it's a recipe for suicide incidents.
And last year alone, we had over 10 incidents of suicide among young children of between 9 and 18. And it's like it's just on the rise. This is sad. We need to do something as parents.
So I'm wondering what the father is thinking. Obviously, he beat her up in a fit of anger. I would imagine that he kind of lost his head.
Yeah.
But after his tempers cooled, and then he found out that the girl had killed herself, I wonder how he feels about it.
Guilty.
I'm wondering if he's saying to himself, damn, over just this kitchen?
No. You can't think like that as a father. Yeah, he's thinking that of I killed myself. Because when your child dies because of something you did, it is more or less you killed her. So you killed yourself.
I would hope that, in the community, they hold like a meeting and they really try to address this issue so that, parents can be taught how to control their anger and also, of course, find ways of preventing fires from breaking out.
Teach children about fire. Teach children.
You gotta teach. Yeah, because maybe that's another thing. She wasn't properly taught how to use matches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or where and when to use the match. Because these are things, they look like petty things, but these are things we still need to teach the children about.
Yeah.
As parents.
Yeah.
As parents.
As parents. Anyway.
That sounds so good, eh?
Yeah, it sounds good to say. And, And when I look at my child, I just feel like, wow, I wouldn't want her to ever be hurt over anything or anything to happen to her. So by the time a parent would lay their hand on a child and to beat them severely, in my head, I'm thinking they've probably lost their minds. Either stress has just rendered them so emotionally volatile that they just snap and overreact.
Because if they say he beat her severely, it means that it was more like he was fighting someone. And by the way, there is a reason why fathers rarely punish children. Fathers rarely beat children.
Because you can kill a poor child.
Exactly. Most moms will say, wait until I tell your dad. But because the father is a symbol of authority in the home, he doesn't need to lift his hand against their child. The children just know that I need to to get my ducks in a row, because if this man touches me,
I'm
and
finished.
that is how it goes in most homes. Fathers rarely beat children.
Poor girl. Just a
Sad.
little girl who went to buy matches for the family and boom.
This is sad, especially that my daughter is almost 9.
Really?
So I can know how these kids can be really.
Well, you better teach her how to, navigate her way around the kitchen, the do's and the don'ts.
I do, but sometimes kids will shock you because they also have minds of their own and they try to discover things.
I know, haven't you? For me, like, my heart gets broken every time I see a child like who has been severely burnt, and you can tell probably they were playing in the kitchen and knocked over
By the way,
boiling water.
if there is anything that freaks me out, it is those home accidents, like a child turning on the gas, like a child getting burnt by porridge or boiling water. So the way I tell my maid to be careful.
Wow.
When she's cooking, let's say she's using the pressure cooker, the children are not allowed in the kitchen. And because I've been saying it for so many years, and thank goodness I have had the same maid for 9 years now, she knows how to do things and the kids know. So no accidents yet, and I hope never.
Well, lots to think about, and wow. More interesting stories coming your way. So make sure to stay tuned to your number one station, RX Radio. This is The Fatboy Show.